Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome to HT's EDC. Coming at you from the back patio this morning. And we have my number one gal here. You gonna say hello? Huh? You gonna say hello, Miss Abby? You guys know Abby. She is right here on my left-hand side, and she says it is time to make a video. So here we go this morning. We are going to do a combination People's Choice, the People's Series. We're getting back on that once again today. I am really enjoying those. Keep those coming. I've got one or two left here that has been sent in. I'm fixing to actually kind of do 2 for 1 today because there was 2 of these requests that were really similar, and I decided just going to go ahead and combine them, kill 2 stones with 1 bird, if you will. Yeah, no, it's Arkansas right there. We're a little backwards. But anyway, folks, keep these coming. I enjoy them, and obviously you are giving me topics that you guys want to hear about, and I'm not just out here rambling aimlessly. It is good. Y'all give me topic ideas that y'all want to hear, and I love tackling them. So we're going to do, like I say, we're going to do kind of combine 2 that were real similar. You'll understand in a minute. Real fast, we will do a What You Toting today. And if I don't drop it all over the place here, we have the pocket cross today. By the way, I'm out here in some good old basketball shorts this morning. I did have to put on some long sleeves. I came out here in a t-shirt a while ago, and it's in the low 60s here early morning, a little brisk, so it made me go back in and at least put something on my arms. So we're in basketball shorts today. We're going light. Only thing that's in my pockets today is this pocket cross. And today is going to be, hopefully, my last grass cutting of the season. I have it's really slowed down here as far as my yard. I probably hadn't cut it in close to a month. It's really, September, it grew really slow, maybe 3 weeks. But it is hardly growing anymore here, and hopefully we're going to cut it off, and this will be the last time for the year. And I have for my EDC, this is my always around my neck when I'm on my lawnmower. This has kind of been specified as my lawn cutting knife now, and that is the Mora Eldris. Little red HT red neck knife. I also throw this around my neck. This is also my fishing knife, my bait knife. Don't go fishing that much anymore, but when I do, I keep this right at my front door. We have a set of hooks there. We keep keys on, whatever, hanging there, and this neck knife is always there. So when I go to get on the lawnmower, go fishing or whatever, I just toss this thing around my neck, and easy peasy. Also, to be honest with you, this little guy, I have toted this to the field. We're going to get into the topic here in a second, but this actually has went to the field in a deer hunting environment before, and believe it or not, this can do the job. This is a good little deer knife, field dressing or what have you. It's not my number one, it's not my go-to, but I have tossed this around my neck and went to the deer woods with it. But typically, this is my lawn mowing knife now. So, what is those said topics? I kind of spoiler alert there. You've already seen the thumbnail, so you already know. These 2 come into me from Brother Tim. We'll say Timothy C. You know who you are. I won't put your last name out there, just in case, for privacy reasons. And Tim wants to know knives I use for deer. pretty broad. He didn't say fixed blade, folders, whatever. The knives, he wants to know the knives I use for deer. Okay. And then that's actually number 3 on my list. And you go right down number 4, show my fixed blade hunting knives. And that is by Ronald N. Ronald N, you know who you are. So I said, let's just combine those. So these are my deer hunting, from what I take to the woods on me to, skinning, field dressing, dressing a deer, what have you. And I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys. It has probably been 2 or 3 years since I have cleaned a deer myself, or well, matter of fact, and then it was a tag team effort with my buddy. I have a good buddy that comes up every year. He is in my hunting club. He's a dear friend from Florida. Ever since I've been in Arkansas, he comes up here from Florida to visit, and we have an annual deer hunting trip that it's a standing trip every year. And sometimes he kills, we harvest, let's use the word harvest. We harvest more than he wants to process. So say he'll come up and he'll want 2 or 3 deer. At least he really wants 2. That's perfect. 1, not. He likes 2 deer. 3 is surplus. So 1's a little not quite enough, but we usually fix him up. If he only gets 1, between me, my wife, the other people, pretty much always we send him home with 2 deer. But if really have a good season and he gets 3, well, he likes to carve 1 up and clean 1 himself. The other 2 we will send to the processor. And as I got off topic, typically, folks, I'm gonna be honest with you, with my crooked fingers and my back and just standing in one place for 20, 30 minutes cleaning a deer, I just don't do it anymore. I 95% of the time take them to the processor. That being said, I have cleaned and skinned and gutted, if I will. I'm sorry, most of the people that watch this channel not going to be offended by that term. Clean and process, we'll just stick with that. A many of a white-tailed deer in my day. So I do come from a place of experience. I believe I could clean 1 and do all of it in my sleep. Just don't do it as much anymore. So just wanted to put that out there. I am not processing a whole lot of deer myself. Like I say, I will help on him. This year, this might be a year also, he said he'd like to go home with 3 again this year. So we may be out there and I may be helping him carve 1 up this year. But anyway, when I did do it myself, these are the knives I use. When I still do it myself and when I did, these are my go-to knives. And we're just going to start with the ones real quickly. Who was it? Brother Tim, knives I use for deer. Well, we're going to start with my folders. I always have a sheath knife on me when I go to the woods. And typically I try to stay with something synthetic. And it's going to be, shocker alert, it's going to be a folding hunter style knife. Either a folding hunter or a folding, a hunter style knife. That's always going to be on my hip when I go to the deer woods. And honestly, it's on my hip a lot of the times when I don't go to the deer woods because I just love them that much. But when I am in the field or whatever, you guys know or have seen, I have a lot of stag hunters. I have real bone. I try to stay away from those natural wood, bone. I try to stay away from those, the ones that I tote to the field, because, not to be gross, but you can get a lot of fluids when you're cleaning a deer or you're, field dressing one or whatever. Your hands get wet. You know what I'm talking about, and that stuff can get all in your knife handle. I'm not so much worried about the pivot. I can wash that out, but just in those handles, if you take out a natural wood, it can swell. It can get in those pores of natural wood. Same thing for stag. And you do it too many times, yes, you can come home and power wash them, clean it up and all. And it, for the most part, does. I may be overthinking this. I'm just telling you, I gravitate the ones when I'm really going deer hunting. I usually pick up a synthetic. I don't take my real bone, my real stag, or my real woods with me near as much. Now you may call me on it. I have taken a buck 112 that's in real wood a time or so, but I try to stick to they have the diamond wood, the buck diamond wood, which is a laminate wood. Has all the look of that beautiful wood, but the top is a veneer, and it is a resin impregnated wood. Anyway, they do that because to make it almost impervious to the elements. It won't swell. The stains from won't penetrate that wood. It will stay looking good. It won't swell. It won't crack when it gets wet. Anyway, I try to stick more with synthetics like faux stag, Delrin being number one. Love me some Delrin. Stagalon, the faux stag, something that you can just wash off, or micarta. I do a lot of micartas. And what else? Or the diamond wood, the laminate woods. Examples. Very first day I went to the woods this year, right there. My old, and I'm not going to take up everything, and show you everything, but this is the two-bladed folding hunter. This is my 25 OT in Delrin, good old Delrin. A wonderful choice. And we're going to go through these pretty quick. How about this guy right here? This is my Case Mako, and it is in camo synthetic. Love, love, love this. This will get toted a bunch this year. It is light. It is a field dressing dream. Nice point on it. Just all the above. This thing is awesome. So my Case Mako. And again, like I say, they're always going to be in a sheath on my hip. Of course, you guys know who I co-sign numero uno for those type of sheaths, Brother Ed. And here is one that I actually toted the other day. This is the old K-Bar. And what model number is that? 1184, I believe it is. The K-Bar 1184, and this is faux stag. So this is your Stagalon. If this was true stag, like I said, I would kind of back off from that because, like I say, you can really discolor some stag. You can get some stuff in those pores and all. And Dawn and all, you take it home and rinse it out. You can say, well, it'll rinse right out, HT. Yeah, somewhat. I have seen prolonged use with your bone and your stag that it just takes on a color that you really don't want over time. Even when you come home and you wash it out, it just sits in there a little too long in the field. And just take a synthetic. That's just my opinion. You do what you want. But I've learned by experience, you can start getting your stags and your bones looking a little unsightly. So I just go with the faux stuff when I'm actually going to the field. There's a K-Bar 1184 in Stagalon. And last but not least, this is a buck 112 by Brother Ed. And like I said, here is some good old micarta. Good old slick, non-porous micarta there. Nice little drop point blade. This along with this guy right here, these are just a perfect size little field dressing knife, or knife, deer cleaning knife. You can get right up to that tip here. Of course, this is the best knife on planet Earth in general, the buck 112. I think you've heard me say that 1 or 5,000 times, but it is also worth its weight in gold in the field as a deer knife. This thing is just when God made pocket knives, he had this on his mind that night. Just my opinion. So that is my folders that I take with me on my person to the field. And I'm going to show you now, who was it? Show my fixed blade hunting knives, Ronald N. From your lips to God's ears, buddy. Here we go. My number one fixed blade knife I use for deer is this guy right here. I have cleaned more deer when I was doing it with this knife than any other. And it is the good old Case Ridgeback. This knife comes, there's fancier handles. They have one that's in rosewood. I think they have a micarta one. This is the old basic, good old plastic. Well, it's not a cheap plastic. It's kind of a rubberized hard plastic. They may call this, what is that, Kraton or something. But anyway, it is a textured synthetic handle. This is the cheapest model. These are about $50 to $60 right now. It's called the Case Ridgeback. You guys want to see that little tang stamp? But it is definitely an upswept skinner. Has jimping right up here at that finger. We have thumb jimping. And folks, this is an absolute dream for cleaning. This is my cleaning knife. I mean, you have the jimping up here. The blade's not so long. You want to be, you hunters know what I'm talking about. You want to be able to get that index finger up there and guide the tip of your blade. It has some nice traction up there. When you do need to get a more powerful cut, you got jimping here in the back, and it just has a nice hollow grind, about 2/3 of the way up the blade, hollow grind on this thing, upswept blade. I mean, it is tailor-made for undressing, unzipping that animal. And this is my numero uno. I have had this for years, and it has processed a lot of white-tailed deer. So the Case Ridgeback, that was my numero uno. And these next two are kind of neck and neck. And you're probably not going to believe this one. This one's probably not going to be on your radar whatsoever. And you would probably not think of this at all for a deer processing knife. But I'm here to tell you, yeah, this will do it. And I have done it many a time. The good old, this is the old carbon steel. This thing has got teeners for days. Good old HT red and black going on. Love this combo. This is this the 511 basic? I should have had my notes wrote down. I believe this is just the old 511. This thing is awesome. And you're going to say, HT, a Scandi grind? Isn't that a bushcraft? You know, those are bushcraft knives. They are. They are. That is what their number one. You know, these were not made for deer hunting. They were not. And I'm pretty sure when they first came out with these back in the late 1800s, these are not made for deer hunting. But I'm telling you, they can do it and do it well. It has a fantastic, thick, just perfectly ergonomic handle. Has a little bit of a rubber insert there. We have hard plastic with a little kind of rubberish thing going on in the middle. But it is just so nice in hand. Has nice guards on both ends. And my hand, look at that. Just, it's like they made this thing for me. Has a nice drop point, you know, blade, nice belly on this. And folks, when I'm up on this, you see where my finger is? I can get pretty much all the way up to the tip of that blade. I can control that blade, which is a must. For me, a blade cannot be too long. If some of these guys, you know, with these big old hunting knives that are, you know, 4, 5, 6 inch blades, if it works for you, it works for you. I am I am processing white-tailed deer, small game, rabbits, squirrels occasionally. I just don't need a blade like that. I mean, I guess if you're processing caribou or a moose or something like that, maybe so. I hadn't done it. I'd love to sometime, but I've never, been part of a cleaning on a big game animal like that. I clean white-tailed deer. I'm a white-tailed deer hunter, and something this size or even smaller, as you see, works just fine. But you want it where you can control that tip. This thing has a nice belly, and I'm telling you, if you have your Scandi grind here nice and sharp, it will fillet and do everything you need to do with that animal, and it will be comfortable while you do it. You don't have to worry about this. Now, this one is a carbon steel blade. You're going to say, well, HT, you're going to get that wet, wet and wet. We'll just, what I'm saying, either with your water hose washing it off or inside your animal. Isn't that going to take more maintenance? It is. I just picked this one up today. I have actually cleaned, what I'm telling you, I've cleaned many an animal this, and I do just clean it off right then. But yes, if you forget about this and just put it up, wet or whatever, it will get bad rust. This one right here, I don't ever have to worry about this again because this thing has so much natural patina on it. I probably could even put this up wet because it's got the natural protectant. But if you're worried about this, this is my knife that I have all tinered up. They have these in stainless steel. Get the same knife. If you don't like red and black, they have every color under the rainbow, and they have this same blade in stainless steel. So if you don't want to deal, with the extra maintenance or whatever, they got you covered. But I'm telling you, this guy right here, the old Mora, it is a go-getter, and it will absolutely do well. Not just do in a pinch. I have consciously went and got this knife to clean a white-tailed deer, and it does wonderful. Moving on. Probably this is the last time when my buddy came up here, the last time I cleaned a deer, this knife right here was the one that I took. And this is the little Benchmade Hidden Canyon Hunter, and it is awesome. Check out that jimping. We have thumb jimping. Again, we have the index finger jimping, a big, thin, swooping blade on here, drop point blade. And this is basically a full flat grind. It does have a little bit of a flat area right up here, but basically from about right here is where that little swedging and that flat stops. So all the way down, basically this is a full flat grind, and it comes down and it's so fat and broad that it comes down to ridiculously thin behind the edge. Again, this is what does Benchmade call it? This is a laminate. I think that they may call it diamond wood too. But anyway, this is that same stuff. Everybody has their brand name for it or whatever. But this is a laminated wood. So you look good. You look, traditional, look like a nice wooden handle here. But this is a laminate. So you are not going to have to worry about any of those fluids, what have you. This thing swelling, cracking. And folks, just look at this little booger in hand. I mean to tell you, my finger is all the way out to the tip of this. Has jimping there if I need to be in there and kind of, saw a little bit and bear down. I got traction. If I need a more power cut here, I got traction here with my thumb to cut something off. Just fantastic. Comes with a little taco style sheath here. And I have put I forget who makes this now. I have put this little pocket clip on it because I used to EDC this. This is a fantastic little booger for you guys that want to EDC a fixed blade. It is in their Hunt series, Benchmade Hunt series, but this is a fantastic EDC. So the Benchmade Hidden Canyon Hunter Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Great little game cleaning knife. One that I have cleaned before. This is one that I have came to the error of my ways on. This is the Frontier Valley by LT Wright, and they are a little, I would call this a hunting knife, little game processing knife, and it has some beautiful white bone on here, and I have used this knife to unzip, if you will, my deer for like field dressing, and I've actually field dressed a time or two with this, but I have retired this now just for the reasons I told you. I started to see, and I don't know if it'll show up in there, but it started to take on some stains, and it really looks beautiful right now. I mean, what you're seeing right there is pretty much in the natural bone, but I did start to see it picking up some stains, so I have retired this. Now, if you were to get this knife, they have micarta handles or whatever for this. They probably have a laminate wood option or whatever, but I know they have micarta. This is a dream to process deer with. Has a nice little saber grind that comes down fairly thin, about a 2/3 of the way saber grind on this guy, but just comfortable as get out. Look at there. Very nice and nimble in hand. But I would say don't get mine with these white bone handles. Get one in a synthetic, and I have retired this one now. I would love to get another one, and it would go back into the rotation, but this one right here is just too pretty, and like I said, it started to pick up some stains, and I freaked out. I cleaned on it, got 90% of it off, but this is just too beautiful to, in my opinion, to mess up. So I co-sign the knife, just get it in synthetic. This is the LT Wright. Has a little picture of the pout house on there. This is the LT Wright Frontier Valley, and has a great, comes in this great little high ride leather pocket slip here, pocket sheath, and look at that. That's what's going to be on your belt right there. So basically it rides, well, maybe 1/4 of an inch. It basically rides like I like on my belt when I wanted to tote this. This would not jug you, us big guys in the side. Very, very nice. Just get you one in synthetic. And last but not least, we're at 28 minutes again. Sorry, it's a collection video. I apologize. This is an honorable mention. I have not cleaned a thing with this yet, but this is the one. If we do this, the next time I have to carve up myself on an animal, I am going to this one. And this is the Buck Open Season. And, or the 539. And this is kind of a little bird and trout knife. And it is just, I think it's just going to be awesome. Again, you see how well I can choke up on that. Has a really good blade shape. Comes down fairly thin. This is a, is that hollow? Yeah, that's probably a little bit of a hollow grind, but it is not the thinnest of hollow grinds I've ever seen. Might even be a saber. If it's a saber, it comes down to a pretty good thin edge for a saber grind, or if it's a hollow grind, it's one that's not the hollowest, if that makes sense. But it's pretty good. It's pretty thin behind the edge. Not bad. I mean, and you don't need paper thin for, you need a little bit of rigidity and toughness when you're inside an animal. I mean, you hit some bones, some ribs in there. You don't need the softest little thinnest blade in the world that's just going to bend if you slip up and, you know, nick a rib or a bone or something. So something about this thinness or toughness would be just about right. Has this nice little scallop little cutout area where you can kind of pinch right here, you know, for some of these kind of little trimming cuts. You can pinch right there, and again, you can come all the way up there and do your intricate work, control that tip. Big, huge, generous finger guard here that protects you. And you see what Buck did here? You got a nice little flat area, so you are in no way, shape, or form going to cut your finger there. You know, some of those bring that blade all the way back to the start of your finger guard, and I have knives like that and I use them, but you got to be mindful that if you come up or whatever, you know, just a little too far, it can nick you. I like it that they put this little flat right here. They stop the blade back here about 1/4 of an inch. Then you come into a little flat there, and then you come into your finger guard. There's virtually no way, unless you're doing something stupid, that you're going to cut yourself. That is a very good design on here. Now, the one thing I will say, I believe this is going to go against against my grain, what I told you earlier. I believe these are walnut handles. So I believe that is truly a hardwood, but they do have pin construction. So if these things, if this did start to swell or get cruddy or whatever, I could take these things off, let them air out, clean my knife underneath them. I do like that they have these screwed construction here, but and I believe they did say this is walnut. It could be a walnut laminate, but the fact that they've made this a hunting knife, a bird and trout knife, so around water, you know, this is a cleaning knife, whether it be, you know, your birds, you know, what have you, your pheasants, waterfowl, and trout, you know, fishing, get wet, water, may be a walnut laminate. But again, if it is true walnut, maybe they have treated this, you know, they have put some kind of treatment, you know, on the top of it to kind of seal it. But I just have, my gut feeling is this is going to hold up really well. Hey, if it doesn't, it starts swelling or cracking, you know, after the first time or so, I can always retire it, and it can be a great little EDC knife. But I'm very intrigued by this one. I think the next time I go to filleting on me a deer, I'm going to bring this out. Hopefully that's this year. But that is the Buck 539 open season. Have not used this one yet. This is honorable mention. Those other four I have cleaned with. But folks, this guy right here, this is the go-getter. I have cleaned 20 or 30, I have no idea, a ton of deer with this knife, and it just keeps begging for more. Stainless steel blade, if I didn't mention, synthetic handle, maintenance free. Go get you one. They're about $50. The case Ridgeback, numero uno. Anyway, oh, good. 33 minutes. HT did another one of those long, drawn-out videos. I combined two things in one, guys. I hope you guys got something out of that. Anybody that's still with me, God bless you. Obviously, you're probably a deer hunter and was kind of interested in this. If not, you are long gone, and I will accept that. I understand. But hopefully, Ronald, Timothy, hope you guys enjoyed that. We love you guys. Thank y'all for the ones that are still here, because you are the real ones. We're going to get out of here, and we'll see you on the next one. For Miss Abby, I'm HT, and we are